And outside AI as well, one of the most important traits somebody can have, to be curious and to constantly want to learn. Learn and share those learnings. And I think it's so important for agencies, for creators, for brands to understand that this is a constant learning process, that tools come out every day, and that these new solutions are constantly evolving. And to stay up to date is also part of what we offer, you know? Our knowledge, our know-how is value. You were late. You're late.
I'm late.
How dare you take a week off? How dare you? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Crazy.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Nimble Talks. I'm Fabio, and today I'll be speaking with Matteo Tropella. Hi Matteo, how's it going?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Really excited about this chat.
Likewise.
Matteo is the founder of Agora. It's a generative AI studio. They're doing a lot of interesting stuff in the content generation side. Before we start, let me just mention this. You were literally one of the first guys that got in touch with me and booked a call straight away just to do some networking. I was doing a lot of content. I was really focused on that on LinkedIn. And then at some point, we had the privilege to get to know each other. But really, really interesting conversation we had back then. So just wanted to quickly mention that because, again, you're literally one of the first ones. That was great. That was great.
Glad to hear. Yeah, you are doing interesting things. And I definitely wanted to put a face to the name. So it was a pleasure. And I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, amazing. So before we jump into the, let's call it juicy stuff, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about your background, what kind of exciting things you've been doing at Agora. Can you just give us some info on that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it very much started from a personal passion when I discovered the AI world in general. And I kind of started playing like everybody with ChatGPT and these AI tools that came along in late 2022. And after that, I kind of found a specific niche in the creative side of things. So everything that was content creation, content generation, video, images, even music, sounds. And I found a world when it come to Midjourney, and I discovered that kind of generating visuals through prompts. And as soon as I started playing around with it, I understood how powerful and empowering that tool was, because I was now able to kind of put an idea that was in my head on a piece of paper, on a screen. And I found that really strong. And after playing around with it and you know, kind of making it a hobby of mine, I also understood that there was an opportunity for brands and artists and creatives to leverage these tools for commercial purposes, marketing materials, anything that has to do with their image, with their brand. And so I quickly understood this and said, okay, let me start helping brands, let me start helping artists leverage these AI solution for creative output. So essentially, Agora is, like you said, a generative AI creative studio where kind of regroup all these solutions, all these trends, and help brands kind of filter and curate those trends for them, pointing them in the right direction of which tools to use, how to use them, and you know why using them. You know.
Yeah. So you're doing the content, but you're also helping brands building workflows, incorporating AI in the whole creative process as well, right?
That's right. So I started very much doing a kind of a done for you sort of service, which I'm still doing, where brands come to me and say, look, we have a campaign, we have a product photo shoot that we need to do. Then I take everything on my side. I create with some people in my team and we kind of create those campaigns for them. But I also want to be there kind of from a consulting standpoint or sharing guides. We're putting together now a course for jewelry brands on how to use kind of AI solutions and, you know, AI images for product photography for jewelry brands. So
Yeah.
whether it's done for you services, guides, or consulting, it really becomes kind of this whole space, I guess an Agora, if you want, where you can go to and be up to date with what's going on in the AI creative space.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. And is there a reason why you decided to focus, or even if it wasn't a choice necessarily, why jewelry brands in specific, for example? Because to be honest, when we first chatted back then, I was really impressed, and I was like, and I think at the time there was not a lot of tools, at least the customer-centric tools that. The consumer-centric tools that were not so good at replicating, for example, objects. But when I saw the visuals you guys were creating, I was like, yeah, this is next level. So why jewelry brands? Because I saw a lot of visuals related to that industry, that specific niche, or was it just out of chance? Jewelry brands just decided to reach out to you and see how AI could help them.
Yeah, completely random. I am not a big jewelry guy. I barely have anything on me. I do not.
So is mine. So is mine.
A little bit more, but completely random. A family friend had a jewelry brand, and I spoke to this person, and she saw what I was doing. And I was creating, very realistic faces of people. And so she said, I have an earring collection. Can you put my earrings on this model? And I said, absolutely, I can do that. Absolutely, I can do that. And so that became my first client. It was a jewelry brand. Awesome. So it just because it was such it was the first use case that I had. And after that, when I started posting these visuals, jewelry brands came to me. So it was kind of a snowball effect in that niche. But after that I kind of went into fashion, into consumer packaged good, cosmetics, whatever it might be. But because of the content that I share and the case studies that I have, jewelry keeps kind of coming up, and it makes sense because from a model standpoint, there's a lot that goes into it, and also from kind of a copywriting standpoint, these models charge a lot of money, and so brands that might not be able to afford these high-end models and creating these high-end campaigns can now kind of turn their idea into a reality, and it just made sense to keep going that direction. Completely random.
To be honest, I think that's a really interesting business lesson, because sometimes we have a target audience in mind just out of, let's say, pure interest, because we're experienced in a specific industry, we have experience there, or just out of pure, I don't know, just guessing, almost.
That's so
and then at some point, reality kicks in and tells you, okay, this is actually the direction you need to focus on. So really interesting that it just naturally grew out of that industry, and it's been the focus so far, besides other industries you just mentioned.
And it's interesting that sorry to cut you off, but it's interesting that I've been noticing that every time I try to create an offer, build a product, and kind of push something on the market, it doesn't work. And the best things always come out when I listen to the market and they tell me what they need. And so I say, okay, I'll build this. There's no point, except in very rare cases where you kind of anticipate the market and tell them what they need. It's much easier to listen to what their problem are and plug them with solution rather than forcing them on things that make no sense.
Creating demand might work in some cases, and we have a lot of examples proving that, but it's tough. It's so much better to first listen what the customer is struggling with and then provide a solution accordingly. So I think going back to your case, I think it's a perfect example of that. You guys nailed it completely. So really, really good work.
Thank you, Fabio. Thank you.
So in terms of stack, so in terms of the tools you've been using, without giving away too much, but just so people can understand a little bit more about the workflow and the possibilities here in terms of tools, are you mixing like traditional tools like Midjourney, even some platforms that have access to Flux, the standard version, along with train models on objects, on style? Can you just give us an idea of how the workflow is, especially for your use case? Because again, product shots, I think, are your main expertise, and you're nailing that completely.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, first of all. The tech stack is fairly straightforward when it comes to these sort of projects that we have at the moment. And, you know, obviously there is so much craft and knowledge that goes into these specific tools. But I think number one, and I would close my computer now and shut my business if I didn't have Midjourney. That's for sure. That's for sure. Unfortunately,
you and 90% of the people that work with AI, I would say.
But that's a problem, because becoming so dependent on one specific tool is very limited. And so, but Midjourney is my go-to, my creative director, my lifesaver, and I start with that. I'm starting to kind of go into a more techie world when it comes to Conf UI and Stable Diffusion and all that training world, and I'm liking it a lot. I recently used a tool that the founder really kindly shared with me called, I don't want to butcher it, Camera. Really good for product training.
I was just doing some quick tests the other day. Looks really promising.
Yes. In terms of product cloning, that for me is the best at the moment. You know, I tried all the LETs, I tried the Flare AI, I tried most of them. And in terms of similarity from the real product to the cloning version, that is the best. I'm sure there are others, I haven't used them yet. And then obviously there's a lot of work that goes with Photoshop when it comes to post-production, retouching, editing. That's still a must today. I kind of want to say thankfully, just because that means that there's still some sort of standard of quality that needs to be met. And so there is the need for multiple tools to be used. And like you said, the stack. And then I've started to play around with videos, so Luma, that you know. Pika Labs, of course.
Kling, for example.
Kling, of course. Crea, is how you say Crea AI. So a bit of a mixture of these. But a lot when it comes to product photography and the sort of campaigns that we do at the moment is a lot of Midjourney, a lot of Photoshop, and a lot of real product photography, because we still do shoots in the studio where we shoot the product to make sure that it has the best possible resolution. And sometimes when it comes to integrating a real product, we don't do the cloning as much as we do real photography. And I think it's still very fun because you can manipulate it as you want, and you can use Midjourney as the scene. And that for me is still super important, because I still haven't found anything better than Midjourney.
Yeah, indeed. And you actually mentioned something that people tend to forget, especially companies, like potential clients, even for my own business, which is hybrid production. It has a lot of potential as well. So people
100%
usually focus only on the AI generated content, and they will either accept it or reject it completely. And it's so much easier when you do this smooth transition between going for a real full-on production, and then just doing a really light transition to hybrid production. And then the last phase, hopefully in the future, on the longer term, they would adopt AI completely. But hybrid production, so I'm actually interested in learning more about what you guys are doing specifically. But I think there's a lot of potential. And that will be, for me, the easiest way for companies to adopt AI. Just doing this smooth transition. Yeah.
True. I completely agree. Also because a lot of companies, rightfully so, do not want to go straight into full AI. And it
Yeah.
makes sense. They still have their models. They still have some sort of staff that they might want to use. And it makes sense to kind of blend these two together. But it's important to start looking at the solutions that are out there and picking the ones that make sense to you as soon as possible, and the ones that really help you. But this hybrid production, for now, is the best output we were able to create, while having the most amount of control. And I think that's super important, especially with AI. It's such a slot machine sometimes. You type a prompt and you just cross your fingers, hoping that it's going to come out as you wish. And hopefully that's what I want. And with this approach, this hybrid production, you're able to kind of keep that sort of control that you might have in traditional ways. It's crazy that we're saying like this, but like old school ways where you would go to the studio and kind of control the lighting and control the models and tell the positioning. There's a lot of brands that do that. Supply is doing great campaigns with this approach. And many others are going to come along. And for now, we're focusing on that.
That's
our
that's
core
really great.
service.
And also still related to AI adoption, people also tend to forget that it's not just the end result, whether it's hybrid production or AI generated production. It's the whole process, style exploration, ideation, like the very first step in the creative process. You can just experiment, especially with Midjourney. Midjourney, I think it's really good on that part as well. Just ideate, just explore ideas, even before getting into the next steps, or of creating mood boards, of creating a specific style according to a client's brief, for example. People also tend to forget that. It's the whole thing, every step of the process, from ideation to execution. So it's really important for people to understand that. I'm just wondering if you guys are also helping clients through that angle as well. So not so much doing, okay, so here's a workflow. If it's not for content generation, here's the workflow. But something even more powerful, in my opinion, is here's the workflow for the whole thing, ever since start, like ever since the beginning. Yeah,
that is 100% how we operate. There is no way we would just, say, okay, we'll create these images without offering a creative direction before.
Exactly.
There's no way. There's no way, because the output will not look good, and we would rather make it more of a premium service and providing a premium output, rather than taking all these shortcuts and saying, yeah, sure, we'll do it for this much, but it's just gonna, the face is distorted, it looks AI, it's fake. We really don't like that. I think if the output looks like AI, we scrap it. We do not want to do it. We do not want to do it. And we had a brand that we collaborated with, and we thought that a specific workflow would work, and it didn't. And so we had to adopt straight away another workflow. And I think it's so important for agencies, for creators, for brands to understand that this is a constant learning process, that tools come out every day, and these new solutions are constantly evolving, and to stay up to date is also part of what we offer. Our knowledge, our know-how is value. And to just say we'll do it with gimmicky tools, no. So we'll learn with you if it has to be done, but the output is going to be quality at the end of the day for us all the time. If not, project is not completed.
Yeah, that's a really good point. In our case here at Nimble Lab, I think I lost count of how many times we did trainings, whether it's for B2C or B2B, for individuals, also companies. And then literally, this actually happened recently. We were training a photographer, and then she was really focused on product shots. And then at some point I was saying, the thing is, as of now, there's still limitations to do like full-on 100% AI-generated visuals, especially for products that have a lot of text labeling, which is something we might discuss in a bit. Okay. I wanted to get your take on that. But overall, yeah, just for simple mockups, it will do the thing. But for more complex use cases like product placement and integration within a visual,
Yeah.
it's still a little bit challenging. But this is as of now. And I mean, a couple of days later, I just found out about that same platform you just mentioned, Camera. And I was like,
camera.
yeah, this could work for that same person. And so it's really hard to do, even for like as a learning process, even for us as professionals, as business owners in this field, we need to be constantly updated and make our clients as well updated, because otherwise it doesn't work, because the same workflow you built for a client might not work or might not be ideal, not necessarily not work, but not be ideal sometimes even like week after, because there's new tools. And even for existing tools, like again, Midjourney. I remember when mood boards were launched, I was like, yeah, so all of these people that I trained missed this feature, so I will need to go back to all the same people and do an extra training,
Yeah, but that's beautiful, because it's a space that's in constant evolution, and why not want it that way? Why not want it that way? And even like you said, for us professionals to have that open mind to pivot. If you need to pivot, you pivot. And to stay married to a specific workflow nowadays just does not work anymore. It doesn't work, because it's constantly changing. So why not be up to date with what's going on and leverage these solutions as soon as possible?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
a good thing for Nimble Lab is that now you have something new constantly, and so you can retain your fellow subscribers. They want to stay with Nimble Lab.
That was the reason. That was the reason why we decided to create the membership, because for a really affordable price, $25 a month, this is just like almost like an ongoing service in which people can be really up to date on these tools, and just aside from just asking questions and asking for feedback and everything, which is already important, but most importantly is to stay updated, because otherwise, I mean, I remember there were people that were still using the Discord channel for Midjourney.
Oh my.
They didn't know about the web version. So having this service in which, hey, there's we have good news for you. Now we have like a web platform to use Midjourney. So keep things up to date is really mandatory these days. So I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Wild. For 5 Starbucks coffee a month, you can revolutionize your brand.
Pretty much.
Please take this opportunity.
Yeah. So we work with creatives, individuals, and also B2B, like more tied to like corporate trainings and consulting. But even a member of a team at a brand or an agency could just sign up to the membership and be updated. And this would, of course, benefit the company as a whole. So
you also do one-to-ones?
Yeah, we also offer that as a separate service, focused on individuals. Once again, like one-on-one. If there's a creative, an art director, a marketer, or a designer that really wants to do like more in-depth sessions and trainings, where we also cover that alongside the corporate trainings and consulting. So again, going back to the point, ongoing, making things, keeping things as updated as possible. I think that benefits all sides, not just for us as business owners, but as a whole, for the whole people.
And outside AI as well. We were talking yesterday with my sister, and I was emphasizing the element of staying curious. I think that is the most important, one of the most important traits somebody can have, to be curious and to constantly want to learn.
Definitely.
Learn and share those learnings.
Yeah. I think AI is a tech that boosts that.
100%.
It boosts that. It requires you to stay updated. So it adds the extra boost, the extra trigger to, okay, I feel really outdated.
Yeah.
Let me just go back to the basics, to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go back to like fundamentals of prompting and see what's not working out. And then you can just upgrade your skills. So I agree. It's in anything, but specifically in terms of AI, I think it just triggers that curiosity and needs to stay updated.
True,
That's for
true.
sure.
If you shut off your phone for a week or 2 weeks and you don't look at AI news, you will come back 2 weeks after, and it's a new world. It's a new world. Pretty
Man,
scary, but it is what it is.
yeah. I was just literally off during like the Christmas festivities, end of year holiday, and I remember when I came back. I think the mood boards were launched like right before the end of the year, but I didn't have much chance to explore that. But when I came back, I was like, "Oh man, I missed this." And it
Right.
was just a 1 week holiday, like 1 week off
Yeah.
time, you
I'm
know?
done. You were late. You were late.
I'm
How
late.
dare
I'm
you
late.
take a week off?
How dare you?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, crazy.
It's crazy. It's
But
crazy.
thankfully it's I speak, I think, for both you and I, Fabio. It's a passion. We'll
It's a
do it
passion.
completely for free. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we'll do it in the shadows without telling anybody, because
Yeah.
we just enjoy this growth.
Yeah, that's true. So, I think we have time for one last topic, which
Okay.
is how would you like to see this whole thing progress this year? Like, what kind of features you would like to have that would definitely improve your work and
Yeah.
also your clients' work? Yeah, just main features, main things that you would like to see as updates, advancements, even in existing tools. Let's just consider that. Yeah.
Yes. I'll tell you a dream of mine. A dream of mine, and I've been contacting so many talents in the training, when I mean training, product training, in the AI field. I would love to be able to integrate real products into mid-journey generated scenes. That would be fantastic. If I could take an AI
Yeah.
generated scene created on Midjourney and put a consumer packaged good, a speaker, even clothing. If I can take a model that I create on Midjourney and put and I guess train a product and integrate it on Midjourney, I think that feature would open so many doors, so many doors. And
I vote on that.
kind of
I
feel
vote on
like
that.
I feel like Midjourney might do it soon. If you think about it, already the editor feature kind of brought that into the conversation, because you can now upload a picture of a product maybe and remove the background and create around it, which is strong, but not as good as what I would love.
It's beta. It's the perfect definition of beta.
is.
It's still
It
in
just
beta. Yeah. I think for really simple use cases, it works really well. But that's also, I agree with you. That's an indication of the direction Midjourney is moving towards.
Yeah.
And I love that. For example, the character reference, regardless of using for the subject of an image or an object, it's not replicating. It's not character consistency.
It's not there yet.
It's not the right model training thing we're just talking now. So upgrading that, maybe on version 7 we'll have that. Hopefully they'll launch it by next month, I would say.
Really?
But that would be such a great upgrade, because Midjourney will turn the capabilities of just a simple image generation tool to a tool that does every single thing.
Insane.
From mood boards
Insane.
to actual visuals, character consistency, object consistency, style consistency with mood boards. It's there, I would say. It works pretty
100%.
well.
Yeah,
But character in objects, that would be amazing. Midjourney, please, if you're hearing us.
Please, Midjourney, let's talk.
Please.
But how about you? How about you? What's a feature that you would love in the AI space in general, not just Midjourney, or kind of an improvement that you've been craving?
I don't want to copycat you, but I would definitely go for the same needs, because this is something that is taking my clients, our clients at Nimble Lab, away from doing like a really simple and straightforward workflow within a single tool. That would be, for example, in this case,
Yeah.
Midjourney, to other tools, making the workflow a little bit more complicated. So having this all integrated in a single tool, that would be amazing. So I
Yeah,
also
would.
vote on your needs, because it's also a need that we see on a daily basis. I would also say that as of now, video,
Yeah.
it's improving. It's growing, but I still see a lot of limitations. I know that the GPU usage is crazy if you compare it to image, but I would love to see something faster. I hate the UX experience of
It's long. It's very long.
It's
I don't
long.
use it as much.
yeah, that's the reason why I don't use it much. I do trainings on that. I think people can definitely use these tools. There's a lot of decent use cases in which you can use these tools for. But I would say the user experience, hitting enter, hopefully, like praying that something works out. I mean, it's not the best experience. I
Yeah.
think we're spoiled in
Yeah,
terms
we
of
are.
image generation.
We are.
But I mean, it gets a little bit frustrating. And then you're like, for a 5-second video, for example, on Kling, which in my opinion is the best tool in terms of video, great consistency in terms of physics, really good as well with human subjects. But I mean, those 5 seconds when they are generated, you're just literally finger crossing.
Finger crossing. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, please. And then
We
you
are
see like
spoiled,
the
we
last
are-
bit of the end frame,
Yeah,
a distorted eye or a mouth or something like
Yeah.
Damn.
But then you can you is it like Midjourney where you can kind of circle a specific area that you want to change and it changes only that, or would you have to regenerate the whole thing?
As of now, yeah. That's
Well,
yeah.
that's a big feature that I think you can.
That's
you,
a big.
You can add.
I mean, you can have a lot of control pre-output generation,
Yeah.
like camera angles, camera directions, the direction the human subject is moving towards, which is great. But that amount of control in terms of editing, an output, it's still really limited or non-existent, I would say. So, also a good feature worth mentioning.
100%.
Yeah.
And again, I think, like you said, we are spoiled and we understand how insane this is. 24 months ago, we couldn't even do any of this. And so I think we just get used to it so quickly. But I think also these features is questions of 6 months, a year.
Yeah.
And so again, stay up to date and you'll be able to use them.
Think of the AI video space, for example. Beginning of last year, let's say beginning of last year, Runway was the main player. I would say like the solely only player, because Kling was already doing some really basic stuff, but then in a couple of months, everything's changed. And to be honest, now I barely use Runway. I do trainings on Runway, but I don't recommend Runway because it's too limiting. Not necessarily limiting. It's actually the opposite. In terms of options, it's good in terms of functionalities, but the output in general, it doesn't hit the spot
Okay, so
most
Kling,
of the time.
you suggest Kling
Kling,
as
yeah.
a video. Okay.
Yeah. Minimax, I would put it in second place in the ranking.
Minimax.
It's a really good one, the Chinese platform. Kling is also Chinese. Minimax is really good in terms of human motion and physics, along with Kling. But sometimes I get really random outputs, even if I do a lot of control in the prompt. So in my opinion, functionalities, overall consistency in the quality of the outputs, I would always recommend Kling. As of now, it might change in 1 week. It might change
tomorrow,
in 1 week.
Tomorrow.
Later today, even.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Matteo, we're about to end the conversation. Man, thank you so much for joining this chat. It was really great to get to know more about the business, talk about some cool stuff related to AI.
Yeah.
specifically related to product shots, which was really great to have your insights as well. Do you have any final thoughts or things you would like to mention before
I mean,
we close?
I could talk about this for do a podcast of 4 hours, and I think we will start to do that. I was the guest in this case. I want to learn a lot more about you. I think that you're doing very interesting things. So next time we'll switch.
We do the switch.
And
we do the switch.
I'll be the host. I'll be asking the questions because there's a lot to learn from you. But yeah, I think this is a great space that we're in, and we're enjoying it. And I think a lot of brands and artists, creators in general, would love to learn more about this. So if we can keep learning, and like I said, learning and sharing those learnings with others, I think we're on a good pace.
Yeah, that's great. Do you want to share any links? I can do that later on the post, but if you just want to mention, are you active on Instagram or any social media aside from the website?
Active on Instagram, growing slowly, Agora_archives.
Awesome.
The website, if any brands wants to visit, learn more, and kind of book a discovery call, it's intoagora.com. So inside Agora, into Agora. And yeah, same TikTok,
Awesome.
Agora archives.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
My pleasure. Thank you, Fabio.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter, nimblelab.substack.com. There's also a new membership model. People can subscribe for $25 a month, and they'll have access to exclusive materials, live sessions with Q&As and AI updates, and also a private chat with the community. So if you're interested, sign up, and we would love to have you on board. That's it for now. Thank you so much. Once again, Matteo, thank you so much for joining this chat.
Thank you.
And until then, have a good one. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.